Evening. Oh, that's me going live apparently. Always tell my husband's phone and go bling bling. So all set up nicely. How's everybody? Hope you're all good. Oh, it's hot and that. Been hiding in the woods today. Went for a nice walk in Hockley Woods this evening. And I've washed my feet because they were filthy. I'm sure you didn't really want to know that, but I'm telling you anyway. Now I feel like I'm too far away. So don't forget to get your water. No props tonight. I'm just going to keep it nice and gentle tonight. It is really hot. So just easy moves, not too sweaty, not too flowy. Hello, Lisa. I know the feeling. It's a bit hot. My armpits have been refreshed. My feet have been washed, so I feel a bit cooler. Hope you've been for a nice walk today. Hope work hasn't got in the way too much. Oh, hello. Hot, hot, hot. We're here. Is that you both are hot, hot, hot? Mm-hmm. I can't walk whistle, sorry. There's definitely somebody else on there. I can see other people. So, got a couple more minutes yet. So, hey, have a lovely weekend. It's been very, very, very warm. Apparently there's a nice thunderstorm on its way. So, I hope you like the thunder. Hopefully, it won't ruin anybody's weekend or plans. So don't forget, it is warm. So in a warm environment, yoga is quite good, and your body tends to loosen up a little bit more in the warmth. That's why they recommend that hot yoga. But we're not quite as hot as it would be hot yoga. I think hot yoga is about 37 degrees, whereas we're probably at about 28 at the moment. Take it slowly. Listen to your body, as I always say. You can put your own music on if you want. Just do what you can do and just stretch nice and gently. It's time to start. So I thought we'd start by sitting on the floor. So I'm going to move my little pillow. Bring yourself down. Make sure your water is close by, within reaching distance. We're just going to sit up nice and tall. So I really want you to think about your abdominal muscles. You'll have that little tire as we sit down. You can see mine in the mirror. So just allow yourself to sit up nice and tall. Really kind of engage through the side of your body. Just breathe nice and gently. So don't rest your hands on your legs. Maybe just gently rest them in the laps or bring your hands into heart center. Make sure your neck's nice and long. Just breathe nice and gently. You can close your eyes if you want to. Just moving forward a little. Yes, if you close your eyes, I want you to think about the thoughts that are running through your head. I'm not trying to get you to clear your thoughts yet, but I want you to think about the type of thoughts that are going through your head. So be still and breathe. And just be aware of what type of thought went through your head. So did you have a task-driven thought? Something that you've not done yet that you need to do? Was your thought quite negative? Was it a little bit of a worry? Am I going to be able to do this class tonight? Hope it's not going to be too hot. Or was it a positive thought? I'm really looking forward to my yoga. It's going to be nice and gentle. Really need a stretch after a tough day at work, etc., etc. So just be aware of your thoughts. Whilst I was laying quiet, sitting quietly, I had a task go through my mind. So this little job I've got to do tomorrow. So hopefully if I remember the task by the end of the session, I shall create a little reminder and move on forward. But if I don't remember, I don't remember. So if your thoughts were negative, you may be a little bit of a worrier, or you might be feeling a little bit anxious today. So you might have had a tough day. So just be aware that you can actually reduce your thoughts by allowing your breathing and your concentration within your yoga practice to dull down the negative thoughts. If they were positive, that's good. It's really good to have positive thoughts. And we will be trying to do a little bit more on positive thoughts when we do our relaxation at the end. So just keep breathing. Be aware of any more thoughts that come in, whether they're positive, negative, or just task-driven. Neither one is right or wrong. It's just the way your brain is performing today. So let's bring ourselves and open our eyes and just sit ourselves up in a nice tall posture. Just want you to think about taking your neck over from one side to the other. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling over to the right. Inhale up and exhale over. Bring your head back to the centre. Now look round over your right shoulder, just gently stretching slightly different muscles. Inhale back, exhale over to the left. Do that one more time on either side. Always inhale back and exhale away. Inhale and exhale. Bring it back to the centre. Now I want you to think about just bringing your chin down towards your chest, looking down to the floor, your feet. Just feel that stretch gently coming into your neck. And then inhale, bring yourself back to the centre. So just little shoulder circles, tiny little circles, no clunking, just little circles. And then bring them back the other way. And then shrug your shoulders all right up to your ears, the neck, and release. Inhale them up. Exhale. Release. One more time, inhale them up. And as you exhale, really sigh and let go. So we're just going to lean forward slightly. So just take your hands to the floor in front of you. Really think about your sit bones on the floor. Kind of squeeze your bottom muscles together. Get them involved. And then just gently walk your hands forwards. Again, as I say, quite a lot of moves. Be aware of your posture. Don't force it. Don't compete if there's anybody next to you. Just breathing gently. And then inhale, bring yourself back to the centre. So let's take our right hand onto our left knee. And this time I don't want you to put your hand to the floor. Just bring it round to the side so you're grabbing over here. So use your hand that's on the knee to help pull you round. You've got no pull on the floor this time. So it's harder to get the shoulder round. If I put my hand to the floor, look how much difference I can make on my shoulder. I can really pull it round, but having it here, you can't. It's quite tight. Bring it back to the centre. And swap sides. Other hand on the knee, come round to the side. And as you exhale, look round, trying to open the shoulder. It's warm just doing this, isn't it? Might have to open my windows in there. Bring yourself back to the centre. Just take your hands onto the floor. And as you inhale, just push your chest Lengthen your abdomen. Look up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring yourself down to. So take your right hand across your body. Just bring the left hand up. Just kind of squeeze that in. You want sort of a stretch to come through the arm, through the shoulder. And then release, swap over to the other side. Inhale, bring yourself up, bring your hands together so palms are back, one palm is back to the other palm, or front to the other palm. Just opening the shoulders, really engage the abdomen. Pull your shoulder blades down your back so your ears aren't hidden by your hand, but you want to have long arms but the shoulders down. And then slowly use your arms to push down towards the floor. So top hand pushes, bottom hand resists. So you're really having you've got loud music going past. And then do that in reverse. So you're going to push up with your left hand, the right hand, the bottom hand, and resist with the top hand. So you come up. Keep your shoulders down. And then we're going to swap sides. So the other hand goes to the back. That hand pushes, pull with the other hand. Make sure your shoulders are nice and level. Inhale, take the arms back up to the sky. And then release the hands down to the floor. So inhale your right arm up. Just gently come over to the side. Inhale, bring the arm up, release it down to the floor. Swap sides, inhale up. Exhale over. It's a nice stretch for your sides, all around your core, your lower back. Try and keep yourself straight. You don't want to sort of twist over. The hand should be nicely in line with the ear. Inhale, come back up. And exhale down. We're going to do that one more time, see if we can stretch a bit more. So inhale, bring the hand up. Now you're going to take the elbow of the other arm down to the floor. Come on. Inhale up. Exhale down. Swap to the other side. Inhale up. Coming on over. Pull the arm up as you inhale and exhale release. So we're just going to straighten out the legs. And we're just going to, I say just quite a lot, sorry. We are going to just do a forward bend. So inhale up and bring your hands down towards your feet. Doesn't matter whether your feet are flexed or extended, just whatever works for you. Changes complete positioning and feel of the legs. If you have your feet flexed, you'll feel it more in your calf. Just allow yourself to relax down to the floor. I said it again. We're going to have a count session on how many justs I say tonight. Wages now, please. And then for your next inhale, bring yourself up. So let's take our left leg and bend it up and take the leg over the outside. Take your left hand behind your back, and normally I get you to hug the knee, but I don't want you to do that today. I want you to take the hand to the outside. So you want to use this arm to kind of push the leg across. So you should get some kind of stretch in the bottom. And when you've got that stretch, then think about rotating around a little bit more, opening up through the chest. Keep Keep breathing, keep pulling that back shoulder round. Really pull against the leg. A little bit of resistance in this one, but not too much. And it is a bit of a hot one. And then release the arm, release the leg. And just take your leg and rest it on the side. So I want you to take hold of your hand, your foot with your hand, and the other hand on the knee. So just lift the leg up if you can, and then just rock it just to side to side. This is a nice one for opening your hips. Gets a little bit of rotation right through the joint. And then what you can do to progress this move on, if you want to, is try to take your elbow down underneath the foot and then lift the leg up. So this one's called rock in the cradle, or rock the baby. Doesn't matter if you can't reach here, you can just leave it in the previous position with a hand on the foot. But that does increase the range through your hip. And you'll like a little bit of hip loosening. So release that leg down, put that leg to the floor, and now you're going to take the hip out to the side. So think about turning your body to look down your short leg, so you're adjusting slightly. So normally you'd be looking down the long leg, but I want you looking down the short leg. And we're going to lean forward over the leg. So it's kind of like a little bit of a pigeon pose, but it's not. Coming on over, just see if you can rest down onto the leg. And then bring yourself back up to seated. Turn round towards the front leg and release your leg down. We'll do that all on the other side now. So inhale, bring the leg up, swap it over the knee. Just take hold of your knee to start with. Take your right hand behind your back. Bring yourself to a nice tall position. Take your left arm outside of your right knee. And as you exhale, you're just going to just look round towards your right shoulder. And then bring yourself back to the centre. Allow the knee to come down to the side and take your right foot in your left hand and put your elbow under the other leg and just bring it forward. Give that a little rock. And if you want to, you can try and take your elbow down to the foot, bring the leg up. It feels completely different on this side to me than the other side. This side does not feel comfortable at all. Then again, just rock from side to side. And then release the leg down. Bring the foot to the floor. Take your knee out to the side, and I want you to turn down the short leg. And again, take your hands to the floor and leaning forward over the leg. And then inhale, bring yourself up, look down the long leg, bring the knee up, and release it down. Just give the knees a little wiggle because we've had our body weight on. And then we're going to lay down onto our backs. So still a little bit of work on our hips, but also some tummy and back strengthening work. So take yourself onto the floor, lowering down onto your back. And I want you to put your feet into bridge position. So you want to get your feet as close to your bottom as you can, but feet should be shoulder width apart. And your knees should be the same distance apart. Just allow your arms to relax to the floor and push your shoulders into the floor. I want you to think about pushing your back into the floor, just gently rocking, and then bring the back to neutral. So just do that for a few breaths for me. Inhale, pushing the back into the floor, allowing the bottom to lift. Exhale, loosening it back to a neutral spine. Inhale, tucking under. Exhale, release. Inhale, tucking under. Exhale, release. So this time you're going to inhale, tuck your tailbone under and lift just one vertebrae off the floor. Gentle little movement. And as you exhale, release that one vertebrae and bring the back to neutral. So now you're going to do two. You're going to inhale, tuck the tailbone under and lift two vertebrae. It's theoretical. You have no clue whether you are lifting one or two, but you're just moving up the back slightly. Exhale, release the back, lower them down, two vertebrae singularly. Inhale, push the back into the floor, lifting three vertebrae. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze the bottom, push the feet into the floor. And as you exhale, release the vertebrae one at a time. 1, 2, 3, and release your back into neutral. Inhale, tuck your tailbone under. Now we're coming up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're a little bit higher, squeezing the bum, push the feet into the floor. And as you exhale, release 1, 2, 3, 4, and allow the back to come into neutral. Number 5, inhale, push the back down and lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you exhale, release the vertebrae one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, neutral spine. Coming up to 6, inhale, push the back into the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Squeeze the bottom, push the feet into the floor, and release. 1 vertebra, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and release. Coming up to 7, tuck the tailbone under. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and release the back. And we'll do that one more time, coming up for 8. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under and come up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exhale. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the back. Just take your knees gently from side to side. Not too far, not reaching the floor with them. Just loosen off the fact that we've been playing with our back. Lovely. So lower your left foot straight down to the floor and inhale, lift your right leg up. Give your knee a just big squeeze into your chest whilst lengthening the left leg all the way away from you. But you're not wanting to adjust your hips. Your hips should stay nice and in line. Just give them out a nice little check. Make sure they are in line. And inhale, straighten your leg up to the sky. If you can't get your knee straight, don't worry, just do the best you can and be aware of what's stopping you from straightening your leg out. Could it be your calf being too tight, your hamstring being too tight, either at the top or down at the bottom here? Could it be that your thigh, the side of your thigh, or the front of your thigh feels really tight? Or even your back. Be mindful. And see what happens when you change your foot position. So as you point and flex, see where you feel the tension. You can feel it all the way through the back of my calf. And then lower the leg down to the floor. Bring the foot down all the way. We're going to swap to the other side. Bring the other leg up. Just stretch it into your chest. Lengthen your foot of your right leg away from you. And when you're ready, inhale, lift the leg up to the sky. Trying to straighten the leg. You can hold lower thigh or calf. Notice that when I aim for the calf, I've naturally got to pull the leg a bit closer because my arms aren't long. But then I get the stretch coming right through into the top of my hamstring. Again, just flex and extend the foot. Be aware of any tension you feel or tightness throughout your body. Your body's sending you signs to tell you there's something not quite right. Maybe a tightness could be protecting your knee or your hip or your lower back. Or a weakness in a muscle. And then lower that leg down to the floor. Bring your other leg up and take your feet nice and wide to the outside of your mat. Just let the little toes touch the outside of the mat and just take your hands out of the way so you don't squash your fingers with your knees. So as you inhale, stay here, and as you exhale, take the legs over to the side. Gone over to the right, but it doesn't matter if you've gone to the left. And then inhale, lift the legs all the way up to the centre. Bring the legs over to the other side. Inhale up. Exhale over again. Trying to keep the pace nice and slow, nice and fluid, warming up the muscles. Hopefully not warming the body up too much. You've not got hot feet, hot hands. I think the temperature just helps with your fingers and your feet there. And bring your legs back to the centre. Okay, so bring your knees up one at a time to give them a good squeeze in. Wind relieving pose, so please feel free if you feel like you need to relieve any wind. And then I want you to think about coming from this position and bringing yourself up to a seated position. So you can use your arms or your legs to fling you up. So you're just coming up to a seated position. Now be aware of how much push forward you've got, because we're going to think about slowing that down a little bit now. I want you to be a little bit more controlled and use your core, because I would like, if you can, to come from a laying position into boat pose. So lower yourself down nice and gently. I like to hold onto my knees and use my legs to pull me back and then pull me forward. Bring myself up to boat pose. Stay in boat pose. No giggling if you haven't made it. I'm sure you'll get there. You can giggle as much as you want. Exhale. Lower yourself down nice and gently. Bring the knees back to your chest. And give it another go. So whenever you're ready, use your weight. I would say inhale while you're laying down and then use the exhale to help bring you up. So it's up to you where you bring your feet to. I mean, I'm not putting my feet down as I'm rolling forward, but you might want to stay with the legs up. That's a real good control. So exhale, lower down, keep the legs away, tuck the tailbone under, come down. Bring the knees to the chest, give them a squeeze. Inhale to prepare, exhale, pull yourself up, keeping those legs nice and high. We're half an hour in, I hope you're nice and warm. Lower your legs down to the floor, just hug your knees into your chest. So just again. I used to have a teacher that I used to go to, and she used to say that all the time. I used to count how many that's she did in the class. Now I'm doing it with just. Whew. So what I'd like you to do now is turn towards the TV or whatever you're watching on, and bring one leg out to the side. Bring this leg. So you've got one leg cross-legged and one leg's out to the side. So I'm going to try for, I think this is called bow and archer. So take your peace fingers and you want to wrap them around each toe. We're not going to move this leg, but we are going to move the leg that's out to the side. So what I want you to think about doing is lifting up this leg. So we're in this position. So it's kind of half a boat pose. So if you were to lift this leg out, you'd be kind of boat pose. We're not going to do that yet. We're going to do it in a minute. So this is a nice, good stretch for down the back of the leg. It's quite strengthening for your tummy. Just make sure you're engaging. You try and straighten this leg out if you can. Just notice mine was quite bent. But you don't want to lock the knee out. You want to keep the knee straight but not locked. So that would be locked for me. But that's straight. See, there's just an extra push. And then lower this leg down to the floor. We're going to swap sides. So take the other leg out. Grab for your toes. Keep your left foot on the floor. Lift your right leg out. Just be aware of the difference. I can feel that right in the back of my knee, actually. That's quite interesting. It's quite a warm on this one. Use the toe and the fingers against each other to resist. Sit up nice and tall. Get your posture nice and strong. And then slowly lower that leg down to the floor. Well done. As we're half an hour in, probably should have told you to have a drink earlier. Apologies about that, but please have one now. Hopefully it's not a gin and tonic or a nice white wine or red wine or beer. Ooh. We'll do half an hour meditation. I'm only joking. I'm not sure I could talk for half an hour doing meditation. Most of my meditations are only 10 minutes. Oh, right, so what can I do to keep you nice and cool? Oh no, we're going to lay on our side. So lay down on your side, knees bent, arms stretched, no, kidding. So you can lay your hand out with your head on it like that, or you can lay up like that. It's up to you. So I'm going to do clamshell. So with my version of clamshell, I like just to lift the knees a little bit and put resistance in. So I'm squeezing this leg and pushing down whilst I'm pushing up with the inner leg. And then as you exhale, lower it down. Inhale, lift the knee up. Keep your hips nice and straight. Exhale, lower down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Inhale up, keep resisting, keep pushing. So imagine you're pushing this leg down with the hand. Really push, 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 push. And exhale, lower down. So we're going to do a combination of two moves now. We're going to lift the knee up, bring it down, and then lift the foot up. So you're putting a rotation through the hip here. Bring the leg down. Inhale, lift the knee, resist. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the foot. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale up. And down. Bring the leg up. Exhale down. Bring the leg up. Lovely, really nice. So take your underneath leg and straighten it out in front of you. Take this leg to the floor. And take your hand to the floor. Just making sure I don't knock my drink over. I want you to straighten this leg out and bring it up as far as you can. So you should get some kind of stretch coming in through the back here. You might get it in the calf, depends on your leg. So you want the leg nice and strong, lifted off the floor. My foot's still on the floor, and I'm resting on the ball, the side of the foot, on the inside of the foot. No, you can't see that. But really keep that leg nice and strong. And if you keep your hips nice and in line with each other, you should get a really good stretch through here. If you wanted to make that stretch a bit harder, you could twist your body down to the side, trying to get your shoulder down to the floor. I can't get my shoulder to the floor from this twist, but that's kind of the interpretation of the move. It's a nice stretch through the chest if you try and push the shoulder down, but be careful with your lower back. The dog's barking, there's a howler outside. Bring the arm back. Bring the leg back. So this is a little bit of a Pilates move if you fancy it. Hand to the floor to balance you. Both hands and legs on top of each other. Both legs off the floor. Lower it down. Lift them up. Lower it down. Wobble, inhale up, exhale down. One more move and then we'll swap to the other side. So inhale one leg up, exhale the other leg to it, inhale the top leg up, exhale the other leg to it, and then bring it down. And again, inhale top leg, exhale bottom leg, inhale top leg, exhale bottom leg, and down. One more, inhale up, exhale the second leg. Inhale up, third leg, and I've got 3 legs. Whew. Bring yourself up and swap yourself over. Have a little drink on the way through if you want. Coming over onto the other side. Oh, it's all an effort, this movement, isn't it? Oh. So arm out to stretch. If you want, you can always come up like that. It's up to you. Knees together, feet together. Make sure your hips are nice and stacked above each other. You don't want the hip laying in. It's got to be nice and level. So just inhale, lift the knee up. Again, just exhale down. Inhale up. Squeeze your tummy muscles in. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. And exhale down. Combination of the two movements. So inhale the leg up, bring it down, lift the foot up. Really feel like you get the rotation through the hip, bring the leg down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. A few more of those please, if you don't mind. Remember to squeeze. So if you were pushing with your hand, you'd get resistance. Lower the leg, inhale up, exhale down, and one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Just give your leg a little roll. Oh, I'm just going to have a little sleep now. And straighten the legs out. Taking your top leg off the top, bring it over and straighten it out in front of you. So wherever your leg will take you to, you want the stretch to come through your bottom. And you might find that you're leaning too far forward and you're not going to get the stretch in the bottom, but if you bring the bottom back and level the hips out, you might get a stretch here. You might have to move the leg a little bit further to get it working. Cool, look at the white of my leg compared to the brown of my arm. That's what happens when you go kayaking, because the front of your legs get nice and brown, but the backs don't because you're sitting on a kayak. Lovely. Just lower that leg down and put it on top of the other one. Take your hand to balance you. And you are going to inhale the legs up, exhale them down. Inhale up. Inhale up. Exhale down. And again. Lovely. And then we're going to go for that advanced move. So inhale the leg up, bring the other one to it. Inhale up, and bring the other one, not quite so good on this side. Inhale the first leg, I might not go quite so high. Exhale the second leg. Inhale, exhale. That's it, I can do it then, see? Inhale up, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Whoa. And one more. Inhale up and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Let's roll over onto our fronts. That's a nice little smooth. So just allow, it's quite warm laying face down. So if you want to, you can put your fist to the floor and rest your head on your fist. And that way you've got more breath room. So you can inhale. You're just going to stretch out the front of the thigh. So take your hand to your foot. Just squeeze the leg into your bottom. Let that stretch all the way through the thigh. Push your hips into the floor to make the stretch intense if you feel your body needs it. Don't push it if it doesn't want to play. And then think about trying to lift your body up. So holding onto your foot, take your foot away from you and it will help to lift your body off the floor. Just a little bit of resistance coming in, stretching through the thigh. And lower down, release the leg, swap to the other side. So again, you can rest the hand on the fist. You might end up with a nice circle shape on your head. Grab for the foot, bring the foot towards the bottom, push the hip into the floor, allowing the thigh to get a good stretch. Breathing. Feel the warmth of the air as it comes in through your nostrils. It's very warm today. Almost stuffy. Hard to breathe. And then we're going to lengthen the leg away from it. So keep holding the foot or the ankle. Take the leg away and allow the shoulder and the head to come away from the floor. And then release the leg. Bring the hands round. Just gently allow the head to rest on the hands and wiggle your bottom from side to side. And then we're going to come back into child's pose. So just push back into tabletop. You can have your knees close together if you want, or your knees wide apart. It's up to you. We're going to do it together for a change. I normally do wide legs. So arms out in front of you, nice and long. Allow your head and your chest to relax down. Definitely harder on the breathing when you sit with the knees together. Feel like your ribs are being pressed into your chest. And then bring yourself up. Bring your knees nice and wide, not too wide actually, shoulder width apart, hip width apart, and the hands underneath your shoulders. Engage the core. So my core's not engaged, and as I engage the core, get a nice sort of shape on the belly. I'm going to do thread the needle. So take your left hand, and take it behind the right hand. Coming over, coming down. So you can just do this if you want. This is a nice little twist for the back. you wanted to, you could lower the shoulder to the floor and the head to the floor. But I feel it takes a little bit out of the stretch. To make the stretch more improved, lift the arm up to the sky, opening the chest, and twisting all the way through the back. If you wanted to take this posture a little bit more, you could take your hand behind your back. So turn the palm to face backwards, and then take the hand down so you're reaching for your other bottom. You're kind of reaching for the thigh almost to try and open out and get a stretch come through the shoulder. You can't see what shoulder that is. That's my right shoulder. And then release the hand. Bring the hand down to the floor. Push your right hand into the floor. And inhale to come up. Take a couple of breaths to get your breath in the right place. It's quite warm doing this posture. So I'm going to just turn around so I can see you. Don't want to have my back to you. And now you're going to do your right hand coming forward behind the left hand. Just stretch into here. So that puts a really nice stretch through the back, through the spine. You can stay here if you want. If not, bend your left arm, bring your shoulder down to the floor and your head. And lift your arm up to the sky with an inhale. And as you exhale, turn your palm around, release the hand down to the back, grabbing for the back or even your thigh if you can reach. Just depends on what flexibility you've got in there. And then release the hand, inhale, bring it back to the sky. Bring it down as you exhale. Inhale, lift and push up, coming back into tabletop. So we are in the middle of the mat at the moment. What I'd like to do is pigeon pose. So you might have to take your hands forward along your mat a little bit, step back into plank. And as you inhale, just bring your right foot forward, twist the foot out, and release the other leg to the floor. Now, if this one's uncomfortable, you can always come into a side posture, lean forward. If not, take your leg out behind you. Just sit with your hands kind of underneath your shoulders. You don't want them too far forward. If you put them under your shoulders, it gives you a nice structure to push your shoulders up. And by pushing upwards, you should get a stretch through your right glute, gluteus, something or other else. Could be your minimus, maximus, or medius. If you wanted to, you could lower your body down towards the floor. This can cause a little bit of tension through the knee, so listen to your body. If it wants to come, let it come. If it doesn't, stay with your hands on the floor. Again, it's another warm posture actually. Because your head's so close to the floor, it's harder to get the breath. If that is a struggle for you and you're uncomfortable, you can always put your hands under your shoulders, come back up, get a little bit more air in the lungs. And then we're going to release ourselves and swap legs. So tuck your back toes under, lengthen the leg out, push back into downward dog. Just paddle the legs out to give your knees a little bit of a stretch. And we're going to come back to the front with the left leg now. So bring the left leg forward, twist the ankle out to the side, and lower yourself down. Again, you can stay up here if you want. All moves are on the table tonight as it's a warm-up. If you want to progress it down to the floor, you can do. It doesn't have to be a progression. This is quite a strong posture. This will help to lengthen out through the glutes just as much as laying down. Lengthen through your spine. Be nice and tall. And aware of any feelings or messages that your body gives you. Like the warmth of the day, tension through the knee, or even into your glutes and your hips. Lovely. Let's tuck the back toes under. Push back into plank, downward dog, and just paddle the knees out, loosening out the knees. And then release yourself down to the floor. Or take yourself a nice drink of water. And it is time to come into Shavasana. So if you'd like to lay yourself on the floor, you can have your feet up on the sofa if you want, or up the wall. Hopefully you've not got dirty feet. I don't want to be responsible for dirty feet marks on your walls. You can just lay flat on the floor or bend your knees, whatever works for you. Get yourself nice and tall. Breathing nice and gently. I think George has just left. I was only doing a quick downward dog. Maybe she's not joined us tonight. Oh, right, okay, so I'd like you to start off by thinking about your breathing. So just laying down, breathing gently, and be aware of how your breathing works for you. Do you feel your chest rising, your middle ribs rising, or your belly rising, or a combination of all three? Be aware of your body and how you breathe. So I'm going to get you to think about changing your breathing pattern. And I'd like you to think about the top part of your ribs. So bring your hands up onto your collarbones. And as you inhale, really just fill the top of your lungs. So you feel that your hands move while sitting on your collarbones. And as you exhale, kind of lower them down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Just be aware of your own breath length and just fill the top half of the lungs. And continue to do that for me. So now I'd like you to think about changing your hand position. So bring your hands down onto your chest, so away from your collarbone, but onto your chest, just above your boobs. And just think about inhaling and trying to feel actually no, put your hands underneath your boobs, right onto the ribs, the bottom of the ribs. And I want you to feel that part of your ribs now. So as you inhale, you really feel your fingertips separate, and as you exhale, they come back down. So just feel about trying to expand your breath around your diaphragm. Just breathing. Feel the expansion of your lower ribs, The diaphragm attaches right to the lower part of the ribs. And then I want you to take your hands all the way down to your belly. So fingertips kind of just on the belly button. Really put your fingertips so your middle fingers are just resting on top of, touching each other, just gently touching. So as you inhale, your fingers should separate. Hopefully you get a good inch growth. And as you exhale, your fingertips come back together. So just inhaling, expanding the belly, and exhale, bringing it back down. And then just bring your breathing back to normal. Allow your hands to rest comfortably, either on the floor or on your belly, wherever's comfortable for you. And at the beginning of the session, we sat with our eyes closed, breathing gently in and out. And I asked you to think about the thoughts that came into your mind, whether they were task-driven, negative, or positive. So what I'd like you to do now is just focus on your breath. And I'd like you to think, if you can think back to what came into your mind, to see whether you can make the thought that came into your mind a slightly more positive thought. So if you had a frustrating day and you were frustrated with work and you sat down and the first thing you thought of was, oh, that was a hard day, didn't enjoy that. Maybe you can think about how you can change the way you thought about your day just by what words you would use. So if that was a hard day, automatically it makes it quite challenging for you. And you could change it to say, well, that was an interesting day. Doesn't make it quite so negative. The intonation on the voice could make it negative, but by using more positive words to describe your day, it could make you feel like you had a better day than you thought. It's not always possible, but words can be very powerful. You can put pressure on yourself by the words that you use. Some words are very stressful words and they put an immense amount of pressure on you. So let me give you an example. So I need is quite a challenging word to use. So I need to do this tomorrow. I really need to do this tonight. And puts pressure on you to get the job done. And if you don't do it because you forget or you have other jobs that are more important to do, you could then annoy yourself and feel quite agitated that you've not done it. So don't set too many tasks, make everything achievable, and try and be more positive about the words you use. I can give you an example of that. So I have a client that's got really bad shoulders, they're really painful, she can't lift them very much. And during lockdown, she didn't do any yoga at all and has only just reappeared, so imagine her shoulders are very, very tight. And she turned around to me and said, I'm going to be positive about this. I am not going to let this beat me. So immediately she's put a negative into her mind that she's not going to let it beat her. So I said, could you think about how you can word that slightly differently to make it more pleasing for you to actually try to achieve it? Looked at me blankly and said, don't know whether I can. Can you help me? Well, I can help you. So I will beat this becomes much softer. The word beat is still quite aggressive, isn't it? So I will work towards improving the flexibility of my shoulders. That makes it a lot more positive, gives you something more of a challenge. It's the same with all sorts of things, really. Whatever I say, I'm probably picking on somebody. If you've got a tight back and you sit quite curved, it's really frustrating. My back's really curved. It could be that you change it around to say, I'm going to work towards improving my posture. There you go. You feel negative about your weight, and you might say, I'm not going to let this beat me. You could change it around to say, I will work on losing weight. Don't set pressure. Don't set goals that are too demanding. Think about what's really important to you. Weight seems to be an important one, but feeling good is a really good place to come. Feeling positive and allowing yourself positive free thoughts to improve your well-being and to be happier or less stressful on you than I must lose weight, I have to lose weight, I should lose weight. But if you can get yourself into a happy place first, you may find that the tasks you've set yourself can be more easier to achieve. Start getting all these words in the right place. So think about the way you use your vocabulary. I worry about everything. Yeah, you might do, but what puts the worry into your mind? There's only one thing that controls your mind, and that is you. Can you be more positive with the words that you use? I know, I'm kooky. But I have tried it. I am working on it, and I am trying to improve the words I use. And interestingly enough, I do feel better. Still got a dodgy hip. That's a negative word. See what I mean? It's really difficult to try and work on positivity and negativity. So you always have to start somewhere. And if you can be more positive and affirm beautiful things in your life, here's an affirmation. I've had a beautiful day today. I've been busy, but I've had a beautiful day. I've enjoyed the sunshine, a beautiful walk in the woods, meeting friends, being with my husband, had some lovely meals. So everything is positive. Could rephrase that differently. My time was so busy, I couldn't keep up with everything I had planned. Went for a walk around the woods and it was really hot. My husband annoyed me today because he didn't do what I asked him to do. You see what I mean? So by bringing the words that you bring into your mind, you are the one that sets your own mood up. So please think about the words you use. And I've even found myself pausing for my responses. So if I send a text to somebody, whereas my text may have had a slightly negative connotation to it previously, I've tried to make it more positive. I will do that for you. Excellent. Yeah, it might sound completely not like me, and what's she been reading? But you know what I mean. It's just about you trying to self-improve, not just your body, but your mind and your well-being as well. So I am going to shut up now, allow you to bring yourself out of your Shavasana. Just maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, bring some life back into the body where you feel it needs. You could do a full body stretch, squeeze your knees to your chest, rock from side to side. Whenever you're ready, Allow yourself to come up to a seated position. Remembering that if you have low blood pressure, roll to the left. High blood pressure, roll to the right. I hope it's not been too hot a session today and not too challenging. But let me bring my hands into prayer and allow you an affirmation of universal peace. Namaste. Well done, everybody. Thank you for joining. Hope you are not too hot, not too sweaty. My recommendation is cold shower, windows open and the fan on. Hopefully you've got all of those things that you can do. So cheers, have a good evening, and hope to see you soon. Good night.